Welcome, guys, to Benji and HD Phoenix here doing a nice cast for you for Dogsi's monthly tournament. It is game 2 of the finals. NEORedArchon in the bottom left here as the red Terran against aLtAaron in the top right as the teal Protoss, who's currently 1-0 up in his best of 5. So in that last game, Phoenix, I mean, what do you think? Kind of a quick 4-gate there to beat redArchon.
I think redArchon just made a tiny slip there. He was so concentrated on getting those blue flame Hellions out that he only had a single bunker, and he only had maybe 4 Marines and a single Marauder. That is just not enough army if you're going to go for it. Basically, redArchon just teched like crazy, and then basically when the 4-gate push came, he just didn't have anything. And actually, I think redArchon shot himself in the foot because he denied the expansion by Aaron. So Aaron's like, okay, I'm gonna go 4-gate, and that actually just bit him in the ass. But yeah, we are going to go into this game. It's going to be Xel'Naga Caverns, and I mean, I love Xel'Naga Caverns if you're playing as a Protoss because of these tiny little chokes all around the map, and it's going to be really hell for the Terran to play if Aaron gets any decent kind of force fields.
True. If it comes down to mid-game, though, I mean, usually once they start getting to 2 and 3 bases, the Terran will take the gold, put a planetary there, and start playing sort of like a dancing game around these 2 watchtowers, sort of trying to engage into your opponent's gold if he is taking that base, which kind of makes sense. And then obviously drops come into play around the back. So we'll see if it does get to that point, or if it's just going to be another 4-gate and a nice quick game for us.
Well, as much as I like to see 4-gate crush, I do like longer games because I think that TVP has a lot of potential. I think that Terran has a lot of chances to use a very rarely used unit like the Ghost. They're able to use EMP, which is super effective against Protoss. Protoss likewise also the race with the most amount of spells. Templars are extremely great against bio units. Ooh, actually a slight bit of lag there, and yeah, as I was saying, Protoss actually have a lot of spells. Guardian Shield does very well against Bio also because it reduces the Marines' damage by 2, and that practically cuts their DPS by 1/3. And yeah, I mean, I love TVP. I'll just love to see it go longer.
Definitely. One of these probes as well is one of Aaron's probes gone into this Terran base and actually killed an SCV and gotten out alive. So a nice little victory for him early. But there is a Marine kind of wandering around. Hopefully he gets away, but I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, this Marine is just scouting basically for any kind of proxy hatchery. He's going to try to snipe down the probe. Wow, the probe lives with 1 health. This is one baller godlike probe, and I think this probe is just going to scurry over here and grab the Xel'Naga Watchtower. This SCV also is just seeing everything he wants to see. I think this SCV can leave because he sees the Cyber Core, he sees the Warp Gate technology, and he sees the double gas. So he says, okay, it might be a 3-gate expand. I pretty much see what I need to see, and what the Terran could do, which I've seen to be very effective, is if they're going to go for a 3-gate expand, they're going to get a lot of sentries out early. A lot of sentries, because they basically want to force field their way to victory. But if you were able to camp outside their bottom ramp, and because sentries do such lousy damage, they only do 6 damage, and they're basically half a Marine. You can actually camp outside the base, drop a bunker, or you don't even need bunker, all you need is stim, and that the Protoss would not dare to come down their ramp, because if they come down the ramp, there'll be actually this really good concave for the Terran, and you could actually trap the Protoss inside the space for quite a while, until they get enough stalkers, really, to deal with your army.
Protoss can do the same as well. I mean, if he does go sort of 3-gate expand, he's going to be able to get out a bunch of units, and he can expand behind it, go down to the Terran main, and actually force field on the ramp there, and actually do quite well despite having a smaller army. But I'm not sure if that's going to come into play here. Both players still on 1 base, looking to be fairly aggressive. There are 3 Marauders on the map with concussive shells. They can catch Stalkers and kill them, but Aaron kind of pulling his units back in quite defensive.
Yeah, so this is what I was saying. Like right now, these 3 Marauders could technically box the Protoss in, force basically the Protoss to make one production cycle of units out of their warp gates before they can get their Nexus. No, actually the Nexus is going to go down right now, and yeah, I mean, redArchon had a chance there just to be slightly aggressive. Every little bit does count in a high-level game, but looking back in his base, he's already got his command center more than halfway, so at least macro-wise he's ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Aaron's playing quite safely as well. I mean, 3 gates is a nice, safe expansion because you do get a lot of units. He's getting a lot of sentries because they are quite low on mineral costs, which allows you to get up that command center, or that Nexus in that case, and a lot of probes as well. So they complement each other quite well. And actually, aLtAaron just started building a robotics facility and then didn't build it. So possibly looking to place that down. Like he just sort of saw the outline and then he's like, yeah, I'm going to put a pile instead. In fact, he's doing it again, and he actually does put that up. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just a touch bit, and there we go, we're gonna see the robotics again. I'm just a touch bit concerned because he did spend pretty much every single bit of gas that he had on sentries, and robotics units cost a lot of gas. Immortals cost a lot of gas, you know, Colossus even more. Observers are also not cheap. You know, so
They're cheaper though.
Cheaper, yeah. But the thing is he might not have the gas to support this, even though he's been running on 2 gas for quite a while. And it does look, it looks like, exactly as you said, Aaron might be thinking of coming out here and just doing a contain and just basically trap the Terran in his base. Because looking on the armies tab, wow, we only have 3 Marines and 5 Marauders for the Terran. So this, I mean, this could be quite one-sided if Aaron decides to push out.
I think he's going to be okay. He's got bunkers and stuff up. I mean, I don't think he's going to get contained too much. But I think the robotics facility, it's good this early because you can get out observers so you can be safe against Banshees, which you don't know if coming or not.
Right.
And you can also then scout your opponent out so you can see what he's doing and you can react and counter accordingly.
Ooh, but very, very interesting. Sorry to cut you off there, but look at that. It's something we don't actually see very often. We do see a Ghost Academy coming out by NEORedArchon there in the top left corner, and this could be actually really, really huge because looking on Aaron's army, it is very, very sentry heavy. A single, very well placed EMP is going to deny all the advantage that Aaron has. And don't forget that sentries, half their life is shields, stalkers, half their life is shields. Basically, a single EMP is going to do maybe 400 to 500 damage points worth of damage. It's going to do 400 to 500 points worth of damage. Essentially, because you just strip all the products off their shields. It's just super effective. I just can't imagine why more Terrans just don't use Ghosts, because going Marine Marauder actually is very, very gas light, so you have a lot of extra gas. Why not get some Ghosts out? And the first Ghost is going to come out, and just going to have to see how effective it's going to be.
True, it is quite gas heavy, of course. It's kind of hard to get up to Starport and get Medevacs and Vikings as well when you do go Ghost. You do actually get that Starport quite a bit later. As you can see, NEORedArchon still hasn't got one down. Only now sort of looking at getting a factory. But he's going to push forward here. 1 Ghost here doesn't have enough for an EMP. It has 1 EMP. So if you can get a good EMP on sort of half or more of those sentries, you can actually crush through and almost win the game. But it's going to come down to a lot to that 1 EMP. See how that does come into effect in this battle.
Oh, but look at that. Aaron has a brilliantly placed observer out there, so he's going to be completely ready. He's going to come down to see whether the sentries can empty out their force fields first. Aaron does want to fight in this choke. He is going to fight in this choke. Brilliant force field before the EMP can come down. The EMP does land, but it doesn't matter. The force field is already out. There's a Immortal in the back, super angry. He's blasting away at these Marauders, and I think this is going to be lights out for Aaron's NEORedArchon's army. And look at that. Looking at the units lost, we do have 1,300 units for NEORedArchon, and wow, okay, never mind. The army is the units lost is skyrocketing there, but then the stalkers are left. They're going to be able to clean up these Marauders very, very quickly. And wow, I think looking at the units lost, actually that was really, really even. But I think Aaron, I think Aaron just came out there much better because he did. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't say he came out ahead because he did lose all his sentries. I mean,
exactly. He hasn't quite got enough units to do a counterattack. Obviously, some were building. He's going to look at take out the gold rocks here, possibly looking to expand. But NEORedArchon's pushing forward with another small group of units. Although Aaron now has a single Colossus out, so 1 Colossus and 7 Gateway units. Really awesome army comp there. Hopefully that Colossus doesn't get sniped by those Marauders.
And look at that. This small, I mean, Terran armies are really, really, really good in small amounts. It's so potent. The amount of, it's pretty much disgusting how much damage a single squad of Marines can do. But look at that, Aaron is going to have a lot of proxy pylons, so he's going to be prepared for that. And the Colossus is actually going to be able to cut, the sentries could very well cut these units off. But he is going to run back. He might actually want to stim. Actually, no, yeah, he doesn't stim. And finally does stim just to get out of there, but not before losing a couple units.
In the natural, though.
Yeah.
There is a Colossus in the natural that's going to get sniped by some Marauders running forward here, so that's a bit unfortunate. Just catching that rally point there, and Aaron losing, such a big unit this early in the game.
Yeah, man, I completely missed that, but that very, very nice two-prong attack there by NEORedArchon. If it wasn't basically for the good micro of Aaron, he could have actually been very, very distracted and lost a lot of the probes. Actually, that Colossus essentially saved a lot of probes' lives, because if that infantry army wasn't, if that Colossus wasn't there, those infantry would have just basically came in and killed maybe at least 10 probes.
Yeah, definitely. If he could force field that entrance, he might have been okay. But I mean, what if we can go into that forever? Colossus was there. Colossus did shut that down now, and both players looking to take their third bases right now. Looks like they will both try and take their golds. And we go into this position here. Well, I assume RedArchon's taking his golds. Like, I don't want to take the rocks anymore. Yeah, let's stop. But no, we'll go into this position where they kind of sit around the watchtowers and just play chicken with armies, looking for a perfect spot to engage each other.
Right. And this observer actually is on follow with this army, so actually that's a little bit risky, and a single scan in this observer could go down, because you are going to be able to see that shimmer as it moves. Now, okay, we are going to get a very close engagement, but both armies are actually, by luck, is actually going to miss each other. One actually going to the left, one going to the right, and I mean, it would be so even right now if they were to fight. Right now, I would give the advantage mainly to Aaron, because he does have Colossus, that Marine instantly vaporizing at the Zaunaga. But basically, the Marine was able to see the entire army composition, and I would really actually like to see Vikings out for the Terran, because you really do need a lot of Vikings basically to deal with the Colossus.
Terrible engagement here as well coming down. For RedArchon, sorry. I mean, Aaron here is just pushed down into this third area. Perfect force fields going up. This Colossus doing so much damage. That ghost opening, though, you can see it coming into effect now. There are no Vikings up to take out those Colossus, because it's just such a delayed starport, and that's just unfortunate. And, well, I mean, Aaron's going to pull back, but I think he did a lot of damage there.
Yeah, the thing is wow, okay. The thing is RedArchon wanted to engage there. He had this perfect concave around the Protoss unit, and then he was spamming, if you actually look on his control unit, he was spamming his ghost, but the ghost had 71 energy and he needed 75, and he just could not empty that EMP out, and then all the force fuse came out, and then he was like, okay, you know, it was too late. But actually, I mean the placement of that, I mean, if Aaron just waited 4 seconds to attack, that ghost would have had enough energy to EMP, and that could have gone much differently, because that would have stripped all the Stalkers, Colossus, and Sentries of their shields, and actually once again losing every single one of his sentries. So
true. Also want to point out right now, RedArchon is a macro god. Look at the suppliers. You'd think he'd be losing a lot of these engagements, yet he has more units than his opponent by a decent amount as well. So he's just macroing well, not forgetting any cycles on his units, and just pulling ahead by sheer force of will, I guess.
And instantly look at the gold minerals, instantly massively saturated, and he's just going to get a crazy ton of minerals. Looking at that, spiking up to 3,000 minerals per game minute, and he's going to be able to produce a ton of Marines there. Yeah, 5 Marines on the way. We do see armor 1 coming up for the infantry, and they already have weapons 1, and I mean, he's making the right counter. Vikings are on the way. There are more medvacs, and I don't know. I think Aaron might need to switch into some kind of High Templar. Oh, there we go. We do see a High Templar Archives, coming down, and wow, that is a lot of gateways. Actually, if you see there on the main base.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the problem is though, Aaron is quite far behind. In fact, there's going to be engagement here at this watchtower. Now, unfortunately for Aaron, he doesn't have that many units to buffer over his Colossus, and I think we will see some units flank around here and take out this Colossus from the side here.
Okay, so right now we have an engaged. Right now, this is the wrong spot for the Terran army to fight. The EMP does go off on the Stalkers. The Colossus don't have a lot of hit points actually. Then the Vikings are not being focused. But there's a fantastic flank from the back with a couple of Marauders. All the Colossus are going to go down, and RedArchon is just going to come in here and completely tear this army apart. As you say, there are no buffer units, there are no sentries to fight there, and wow, that flank from behind basically instantly killed 2 Colossus, and these Marauders are going to have a field day, even landing the Vikings to do more damage. And I think he is almost completely mined out in the main. His natural is looking very weak. If he loses his gold, we could see actually a very quick GG here.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way to save his gold. When you win a battle like that with that many units left over, you can just push forward and take out a few bases. If he does take out gold, he's going to put himself in a great lead. He can choose to pull back, or he can push forward into this natural if he thinks he can kill that. He can reinforce. His macro is great. I believe this will be GG very soon.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really need to do that. Looking at that, Aaron is actually very light on minerals, because he wants to make as many of these Zealots to tank for his Colossus, because right now, remember, the Marauders are going to absolutely destroy any kind of Stalkers. The Zealots are actually doing quite a good job And but the thing is, it's just too much bio. It's just too much of it, and the Colossus couldn't stay alive long enough. The second cycle of reinforcements is coming here by NEORedArchon, and this is going to be too much for Aaron to think. If he loses this Nexus, this is going to be over very, very... I mean, I think it's over. Even the pros being pulled off the line to fight, but it's going to be too little too late. And Templars are coming out, but they have no Kaidarian Amulet, and they don't even have Side Storm. So, man.
Yeah. I mean, switching to Templars is just so difficult to do. Like, if you do it, it's going to cost so much to get them up, and leaves you open for a timing attack, and that kind of happened there. It's just a bit unfortunate there, but NEORedArchon playing so solidly. You can't fault his macro. It's just such a great macro play.
No, you know, the funny thing is okay, you know, most Terran players think bio is really great until they get Colossus. Then once they get Colossus, I have to swap out because Colossus absolutely destroy bio. Well, NEORedArchon just proved otherwise. You know, like when he was fighting by here at the Zaunaga Watchtower, he had this brilliant, really long concave. He had this fantastic flank from the back, and essentially the Colossus was just completely destroyed. I have to note that NEORedArchon only had 4 Vikings. It's not like he had a fleet of Vikings to kill the Colossus. No, he killed the Colossus with essentially bio only. It's pretty amazing.
Aaron really didn't have that many units. Like, Colossus are great, but they die very quickly to focus fire. You need, like, a big bunch of gateway units to hold it out. You need sentries to force field as well. He didn't really have either all game. His Colossus camps just kept getting reset and reset. And until you kind of get that critical mass, they just don't work that well.
Alright, so it's going to be 1 apiece. NEORedArchon taking 1 off alternative Aaron, and we're going to go into game 3. This is HD Phoenix. I'm joined by Benji StarCraft, and we'll see you guys next time.